So 3-point perspective had 3 vanishing points. It was all orthogonal. 2-point perspective had 2 vanishing points, and we used vertical and orthogonal. In 1-point perspective, it's kind of the hardest in some ways. We have to use 3 kinds of lines for 1 point. We have to use vertical, we have to use orthogonal, and we're going to use horizontal. 3 kinds of lines to make 1 point. We always start off the same way though, right? So just like before, we're going to start off with a horizon line. So right across the middle of your box, somewhere in the middle, go ahead and draw a horizontal. But we only have 1-point perspective this time. So it doesn't always have to come from the middle. It can come from different places. But what we're going to start with is a box. Because with 1-point perspective, we're only going to have 1 vanishing point. So let's go ahead and put it in the middle for now. Right on the horizon line. Our vanishing points live on the horizon line. Little VP. And I have to make an entire box for 1-point perspective. So down here in the bottom, I'm just making a little box down here. I'm going to use the power of my see-through ruler. I'm going to line my previous lines up just to make it easier for me. That way I don't have to work so hard. Make sure that you're using verticals and horizontals, and use your see-through ruler to your advantage. I can see through and see that all of my lines are lining up perfectly. Everything lined up beautifully. So in 1-point perspective, I have to do all the work in the very beginning and draw the entire box. If I want to make this box look like it goes into the distance, I can't go from here because this is a box we can't see through. If I did, I'd be going right through the front. I can't see that. The only 2 places I can go is from the top. I'm going to go from the top to the vanishing point, all the way back. I'm going to go from the top to the vanishing point, all the way back. Here's probably the trickiest line because it's real easy to get this kind of cattywampus. I want to make sure my line is perfectly horizontal. So this line is horizontal. These 2 lines match up. So now if I slide my ruler up a little more, make sure it stays horizontal and put a top on it. That's a 1-point perspective box on the ground. So in 1-point perspective, it's a lot of work in the front end. I've got to draw that entire box, not just a vertical line, not just a line from the orthogonal, from the vanishing point. It has to be an entire box. All right, let's try it again. Let's put a horizon line right through the middle. Let's put our vanishing point right in the middle. What if we put a box on the horizon line, going above and below it? So I'm just going to draw a 1-inch kind of vertical line here. And because it's 1 point, that means I have to draw everything. So I'm going to line my line up, draw another one. I'll make this one kind of a narrow box, kind of a tall, narrow thing. Connect the top and bottom with the horizontal. I'm really using my see-through ruler here to make sure everything's staying lined up. Nothing's angling at all. No diagonals in this. That's all vertical and horizontal. I'm really being precise. And I'm going to take this to my vanishing point. Only the wall closest to the vanishing point can go back. If I draw it from here, it's kind of like the problem I have here. It's not a see-through box. I shouldn't be able to see the horizon line. I'd want to erase that horizon line out. If I drew it from here, it'd be an open box, but I'm going to use a closed box. The last thing I have to do, I've got a vertical. That vertical is also perfectly lining up. So now the back side of my box, give it a vertical, and my box is done. You can erase out the horizon line because we wouldn't see that through it. Last problem of the day. Can you draw a 1-point perspective box over here on this side? See if you can draw a 1-point perspective box on the right-hand side.